limiting and facilitators factors that we divide into, so we propose a categorization of these elements in 5 different categories. The first one is about transportation planning and management. From the enables barrier side, from the first one, a very important enables is the integration among transport services and also the flexibility of those services that will be finally included in the mass system, but also as a barriers the limited service availability, most of all in this low demand context, and also the cost. The cost is a very important factor that really is a very important factor for the mass implementation in those contexts. About the governance, this is the second thematic field that focuses on factors like the collaboration and cooperation among all the actors involved. But as a barriers, we identified the lack of directive and strategic policies making and planning. The third part is about the policies and regulation, which is strictly related to the governance. It's about the encourage the transition from the use of the private car into a multimodal transport system. So from the point of view of the enables, we identified the use of incentives and subsidies, and also the implementation of work policies in a low demand context. While as the barriers, is very important to underline the lack of administrative expertise and also the presence of regulatory constraints. The fourth part, which is a very important part, considering that the mass is a digital platform, is the technological aspect. So from the point of view of the enables, we identify the technological availability for the implementation of mass, but also very important, the availability of data, which is on the other hand a barrier, because the poor availability of data, but also the lack of ICT infrastructure is considered a barrier for the implementation of mass. The last, but not the least, because in these categories we considered the territorial and the social aspect of the mass adoption in those contexts. From the enables part, we identified how much important is to understand the needs of the critical mass, which are the people that finally will use this transport system. Is it very important also to ensure the accessible information for people with different levels of digital competencies. And from this part, we also find that the lack of digital literacy for the people who inhabit those areas, such as the older population, is a barrier. And as I said from the first part, also the operational cost for the implementation of mass is a very consistent problem. As for the conclusion, this copy review wanted to provide an overview of the enables and the barriers for the mass solution in those low demand context. And we also want to underline how recent this topic is, and so it's a constant work, it's a constantly evolving work that we want to implement for the further future. So, for conclusion, we can say that a strongly well-structured strategy planning action is needed, is a key element for the implementation of mass, also involving the role of the various stakeholders. How much it is important to coordinate the cooperation between the actors involved in this mass system, but also the the user behavior, the travel model choice of the final user of the master system. So these are some references that are from this research. And thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
There are some questions from here. Any questions from home? No questions. So I have a question, Sarah, just curiosity.
Yes, of course.
Are you referring to a specific area in your analysis? For instance, we are from Sardinia, and you are thinking to apply this process to Sardinia or other places?
Yes, the final purpose is to apply this in the context of Sardinia. I don't really have right now here a specific area because we are still investigating what area could be the most suitable for the application of this system.
And you mentioned also the lack of infrastructures, ICT infrastructure. What do you mean exactly?
Like the lack of coverage, of the internet coverage, of the also maybe the most is the availability of data, because right now I'm working on the rebuild the infrastructural system, and the lack of data for this for the construction of the system is very.
Thank you. Okay, we can go to the next presentation.
I will present.
Okay, Martina.
Okay. So.
Okay, start.
Do you see my screen?
Yeah.
Sorry, because otherwise the audience cannot see the.
Yes, we are seeing your screen.
Okay.
You can start the presentation.
Perfect. Good morning, everybody. I'm Martina Sinatra, and I am a PhD student from University of Cagliari. And today I will present work done in collaboration with Professors Ginevra Balletto, Mara Ladu, and Giuseppe Borroso. Okay. As we know, the tourism sector has been severely affected by COVID-19 pandemic, and nowadays by the conflict between Russia and Ukraine. However, a significant recovery has been recorded in 2022. In Italy, the drivers of the great recovery air traffic were above all medium and small airports. This includes the airport system of the Sardinia region in Italy, which was chosen as a case study for this work. The Sardinia region is one of the major Italian islands, characterized by a strong marine seaside tourist vocation, with peaks in the summer season in the coastal areas, where 19% of the accommodation and 18% of the destination of tourist flow are recorded. It was chosen as a case study, in particular, the air traffic of the three main airports, which confirm the phenomenon of seasonality, which still provides compared to other forms of sustainable tourism. This also depends on the quality of the transport systems. In fact, a critical condition emerged both in the road and railway infrastructure and in the transport offer also, which present a significant differences between inner areas and urban areas. In this framework, the objective of the paper is to develop a methodological approach based on geospatial analysis to evaluate the distribution and spatial characteristics of tourist flow in Sardinia. um, with the aim to highlight traffic patterns among the local airports and related destinations. More precisely, geospatial analysis techniques are used to analyze the distribution and the spatial characteristics of tourist flow in Sardinia. The results provide a useful information to promote sustainable transport policies, especially in connection to and from airports in the regional context, with the more ambition objective to develop a regional mobility as a service. The methodology used for spatial analysis of tourist flow is based on the use of techniques that allow highlighting specific partners and relationship between geographical data and tourist flow, as we said. In particular, it was choose to use kernel density estimation and local indicators of spatial association. The kernel density transforms function events into a continuous density function distributed in the region of interest. This allows to represent the phenomenon through a three-dimensional surface that express the variation in density of events in the study area. The choice of the radius value depend on the nature of the data, of course. The objective of the analysis but also to the characteristic of the phenomenon studied. So, with this technique, it is possible to identify the spatial distribution of the phenomenon studied, highlighting regions of high density or as we call it, clusters, or it can be possible to identify regions of low density. In particular, in this study, we choose to use a quadratic kernel density estimation. Okay. Instead, spatial autocorrelation techniques allow to analyze the spatial distribution of objects and to evaluate the spatial dependence between geographical entities. It is possible through various indicators. In particular, in this work, we choose to use the local Moran index, which allow assessing for each location to assess the similarity of each observation with its neighbors. From its application, it's possible to obtain 5 combinations, which are high values of the phenomenon and high levels of similarity with the neighborhood, which is called high, low values of the phenomenon and low levels of similarity with the neighborhood, low, high values of the phenomenon and low level of similarity with their neighborhood, which is called high, low values of the phenomenon and high level of similarity with the neighborhood, which is called low high. The last one is the absence of significant autocorrelation. In this study, the two geospatial analysis techniques are used, as we said, to evaluate the possible correspondence between the spatial density of the observed phenomenon, in this case the tourist flow, and its spatial autocorrelation. Tourist flow dataset was used in this work, and it's derived from air and maritime passenger traffic in 2019 and 2022, pre and post COVID-19. The analysis used the open data provided by the Sardinia region for arrival and departures and arrivals and presences in the municipality of Sardinia. The arrivals and departures are from ports and airports. As we can see, data show constant growth in arrivals, departures, and presence on the island, with the exception of the year 2020 and 2021, in which, due to COVID-19 pandemic, there was a decline. The objective of analyzing tourist flow through kernel density technique required the calculation of the distance between the centroids and of the municipality of the island, and to define the size of the radius, the relationship between radius and cell. In the Sardinia region, we choose a distance approximately of 5 kilometers. As we can see, the results for kernel density estimation for tourist presence in August 2019 and 2022 highlights high and low density region. Also, the result of kernel density estimation analysis confirms several characteristics of the consolidated tourism model in the Sardinia region, such as a substantial difference in the number of arrivals, departures, and presences between the summer and winter season in particular, which emphasize the seasonal nature, as we said before, of Sardinian tourism. Second, the concentration of arrival and presence in the coastal areas, which are more popular than the inland areas. Third one, the presence of the three main clusters in the month of August, which correspond to the main tourist destination on the island. And the last, the low attractiveness of inland areas and rural areas, even though they are privileged destination for other forms of tourism, especially those attributable to slow tourism. There is a map instead for arrivals for arrivals and presence in the month of August for the years 2019 and 2020 reveal a low autocorrelation for the internal areas, characterized by a low level of the phenomenon for example, the arrivals, and low level of similarity. At the same time, the high clusters in the main tourist destination of the island coincide with the results of kernel density estimation, confirming the methodological approach. In conclusion, the results of the geospatial analysis do not reveal particular differences between the pandemic and the post-pandemic periods, which testify to a rapid recovery of the sector. The seasonal nature of Sardinia tourism is confirmed with a significant peaks in the summer months and a distribution of arrivals mostly concentrating along the coasts. At the same time, it was possible to record a positive change in attendance in some internal areas, which are relatively limited. In this sense, the results obtained support the ecosystem of innovation for next generation Sardinia project, which aimed at structuring a sustainable transport offer, serving the population and city users, which adequately considers the connection between the road and railway networks and transport hubs in the regional territory, with particular attention to the airports and ports, in line with the new perspective of mobility as a service and in coherence with the National Airport Plan. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Martina, for your presentation.
Thank you.
There are some questions from the floor. No questions? I have a question, just a curiosity about the one of your slides you presented before, the one with Sardinia, with the presence of tourists in the area.
Yes.
No? Oh, this one.
This
This one.
Okay.
No, the next one.
Okay.
What do you mean with this white area near the Sturgis region?
This white one.
Yes.
Its density is very low, so it's not detected from the kernel density estimation.
Okay, understand. Thank you.
Thank you.
Other questions from the web? No? So we can go to the next presentation. Maybe, Martina, you have to help Mara, maybe, because she is having problems with the connection.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning.
Good morning.
Can you ask me? Okay.
Mara, do you need to share my screen?
Yes, Martina. If I can, I send you my presentation.
Perfect.
Okay. Moment. Thank you. Sorry.
Ok, ma
Thank you.
l'ho ricevuta. Condivido subito.
Okay. Good morning.
Okay. Can you see it?
Thank you, Martina. I can see, and in the room you can see. You can see.
Yes, we can see. Yes.
Okay. So good morning, Mara of Cagliari. Today I present two manuscripts. The first, edited by Professor Ginevra Balletto, Tania Nkonju, Gianfranco Francello and me, entitled Regional Disparity, Accessibility and Sustainable Mobility in Insular Context, which represent a comprehensive framework to develop the second one, edited by Professor Ginevra Balletto and me. Can you go, Martina? Thank you. Entitled The Challenges of Demographic Transition, Network Analysis to Assess Spatial Accessibility to the Emergency Health System. So we can start. The two studies represents the results of the research activity carried out within the AIMS project, Ecosystem of Innovation for Next Generation Sardinia, funded by the Italian National Recovery and Resilience Plan. The AIMS project, which is part of the broader scientific debate, which focuses on the evolution of sustainable mobility and transport, aims to encourage modal integrate in connection between Sardinia region and the rest of Europe, and within the region itself, applying the concept of mobility as a service to the regional transport system, with particular attention to the connection to and from Sardinia Airport. Can you go, Martina? The autonomous region of Sardinia is one of the most important Italian insular regions, organized into 4 provinces, a metropolitan city, the metropolitan city of Cagliari, and 377 municipalities. The present, the past, the present, and the future of the Sardinia region depend heavily on transport issues. Despite numerous attempts, the geographical impedance still represents the greatest cost for both inhabitants and city users. Regional disparities can be correlated to a weak external continuity, which is the state of maritime and air connectivity and inter-island connectivity, due to significant gaps in transport policies as well as infrastructure and supply for internal mobility. As regards the internal mobility, the strong dependence of the smaller centers on the main urbanized areas influence the structure of the transport services, which become sparser in terms of trips and frequencies. As the distance from the main attraction increases, making public transport less convenient and non-competitive with the private car. The state of the inter-island connectivity is well expressed by the specialization of the daily commuting flow, as you can see in these 2 maps. Go, Martina. Furthermore, as in the national context, the demographic phenomena of population aging and shrinking represent real challenges for the future regional connectivity, extra and intra. The 2 maps show the specialization of the resident population by municipalities and the percentage of population aged 65 and over. We can see that population aging and shrinking are demographic phenomena that mainly affect the Sardinia inner areas. Within this framework, regional issues and the regional disparity are at the core of the AIMS project, which proposes a methodological approach to improve regional connectivity, in line with the principle of insularity, recently established by the Italian Constitution, as the result of the growing cultural, social, and political awareness of the peculiarities and the diversity of the insular contexts. More precisely, the research project investigates the following stage, including activities and associated milestones. Stage 1, which develops a multi-level geodatabase concerning transport supply and land use. Stage 2, which focuses on a transport model to promote a sustainable mobility and multimodal transport to and from Sardinia airports. Stage 3, dedicated to the definition of a mobility as a service solution for the regional transport system. Finally, stage 4, which is dedicated to evaluation, transfer, and dissemination activities. In this study, we propose a methodological framework to develop a multi-level geodatabase to support the definition of the transport model and the airport mass. The scheme of the multi-level geodatabase concerns the main characteristics of the data, so the topic with the name and code, the data source and the data frequency update, its spatial dimension, which go from the local to the global scale, and the file extension. As a first result, we collected and organized open data, dynamic and static data, relating to various topics, characterize the insular socio-economic context, along with the current provision of infrastructural network and transport services. In conclusion, sorry. In conclusion, the context analysis defines a cognitive framework relating to the characteristic of the Sardinia population and demographic phenomena, dynamics of passenger demand, land use, and transport supply system, which represent the basis for developing more complex analysis, including spatial accessibility to important services, spatial accessibility to the main gateway of the island, which are the 3 airports, but also the ports, and the health services, has been evaluated using network analysis technique, and this is the object of the second paper. So, as I said before, the first study represents a comprehensive framework to better understand the second one, which focuses on the spatial accessibility to the emergency health system in Sardinia in the light of the demographic transition. Population aging is the most pervasive and dominant global demographic trend of our time. Italy is one of the countries with the oldest population, recording the highest median age of the population in 2022, that is 48 years. Changing demographics will also shape urban governance, which may guarantee quality health service and spatial accessibility. This is a real issue, especially in Italy, where the inner area covers a total of 60% of the entire national territory. The national strategy for inner areas defines a polycentric structure characterized by a network of urban center and peri-urban areas, and also inner areas. Urban center and peri-urban areas where the provision of primary services is concentrated or where the travel time required to reach them is less of 20 minutes. The specific services concern secondary schools, hospitals with a Department of Emergency and Acceptance, DEA of level 1, platinum, gold, or silver train stations. The remaining municipality or inner areas where the access time to the urban center is more than 20 minutes. The inner areas are classified according to the different level of accessibility to the nearest hub in intermediate areas, peripheral areas, and ultra-peripheral areas. Several authors analyze the relationship between the quality of healthcare and the value of the main demographic indicators, such as longevity or life expectancy, and propose methods to assess the travel time needed to reach health services. In this study, we propose a methodological approach to analyze the spatial distribution of the population, particularly the elderly population, and to assess private accessibility to the healthcare facilities in a regional context. Again, we use Sardinia region as a case study. As a matter of fact, the INS project promotes sustainable transport model to improve the regional connectivity also for health purposes. The regional hospital emergency network consists of 11 emergency rooms, 8 DEA of level 1 and 3 DEA of level 2. However, the provision of an efficient healthcare system to respond to the growing demand of the elderly population proved to be a real challenge. As a matter of fact, spatial accessibility to health services is threatened by a significant gap in transport infrastructure, both road and railway network. It is estimated that the travel times for moving across the island are among the highest in Italy. The study uses network analysis technique to analyze the spatial distribution of the population and to assess accessibility to the nodes of the regional hospital emergency network. In this study, the network analysis technique of the QGIS software were used to define the nodes of the hospital emergency network in Sardinia and the related 20-minute isochronous to analyze the spatial distribution of the population and therefore evaluate the accessibility to each node by private means of transport, adopting a travel speed of 50 kilometers per hour. As a result, we can go to the result. The spatial distribution of the population on a regional scale revealed that over 66% of the population lives in urban centers, while the remaining part lives in inner areas. Moreover, the 35% of the regional elderly population lives in inner areas. Go. With almost 90% of residents living in urban centers, the metropolitan city of Cagliari records the highest level of accessibility to healthcare facilities, exceeding the regional average by several percentage points. The province of Sassari, instead, records a level of accessibility similar to that of the regional values. 67% of population live in urban centers. The lowest levels of accessibility are recorded in the province of Nuoro, Oristano, and Southern Sardinia. In the province of Nuoro, in particular, almost 64% of population and about 63% of the elderly population live in inner area. The results are consistent with the value of some important demographic indicators. According to the fair and sustainable well-being indicators, life expectancy at birth in the three provinces mentioned before record the lowest value compared to the regional and national average. As a conclusion, the results require particular attention, especially considering that the region is seriously affected by the phenomena of population aging and shrinking. The methodological approach represents a useful tool to support sustainable transport planning in those areas characterized by a poor spatial accessibility to health services. In the future, we will investigate possible solutions to integrate healthcare system into the mass solution as a fundamental component to improve well-being for all. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Mara, for your presentations.
Thank you.
There are some questions from the floor.
Yes?
It seems to be that there are no questions from the floor. I don't know if you are thinking to specific proposals, not to increase the networks to limit the time, for instance, for the access to the hospitals in Sardinia.
Yes.
Or in this
so
time maybe.
Yeah, maybe you are in material accessibility. So I didn't specificate maybe in some slides that my work is about spatial accessibility, so more about transport and mobility. The social accessibility to the health service system is a political question, but for us, the important is to understand what are the possibility and the capability of transport to improve our spatial accessibility. So we are working to the mass solution to improve the integration between the transport to supply system. For example, we should involve not only the public subject, but also the private subject, which in the last years has an important role in provide mobility services. And so our with the paper is to improve
Connection is not so good.
We lost Mara.
Okay, Mara, maybe for the next time.
Next time is internet access. Not
Okay. We can go ahead the next presentation with Tania, Professoressa Congiu, or Marco. Which is the next presenter?
Sorry, maybe the connection was full. I don't know if you have listened my answer.
No, we lost you, Mara, before.
Oh, sorry. Maybe again? No, if I can.
No problem. We can go ahead.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Bye. Let me see. So the next presentation is the one presented by Marco, beyond cost-benefit analysis, a methodological approach to access transport infrastructure investments.
Yes, good morning, everybody. Good morning,
Hi,
Emilio.
Marco, you can start the presentation.
Okay, with the presentation is this. Do you see my screen?
Yes, you can see your screen.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I start with my presentation. This is my presentation. The title of the paper is Beyond Cost Benefit Analysis. We want to propose a methodological approach to assess transport infrastructure investment. And I'll present the first analysis, the first result about this work developed by Ginevra Balletto, Giuseppe Borruso, Martina Sinata, Gianfranco Fancello, and me. About this general framework, we have an important opportunity in this programming cycle 2021-2027. By European Union, we have inside the cohesion policy the possibility to develop different action and intervention to supporting economic growth and employment, for example, scientific research, innovation, and the competitiveness of regional production system. And in order to reduce territorial disparities and improve quality of life citizens. And in this programming cycle, their main objectives are implementation of action aimed to the development of a climate neutral economy with the program called the European Green Deal, and just and inclusive society with the second important program called the European Social Pillar, the broader context of the ONU agenda for sustainable development. In this
Sorry, Marco, I have to stop you because the slides are stopped. Check please the sharing because you are stopped at the first slide here.
Do you see this, the second?
No, try to share the entire screen.
Okay.
Okay.
Not this.
We see the second slides now.
Okay, the called introduction, the first introduction slide. Okay.
Yes, the first introduction.
Okay.
Sorry, Marco, can you put the full screen?
Okay. Is better this?
We cannot see the full screen. No.
And now?
No.
No?
We see your
Okay. I'll try again to...
Yes, please.
Okay. Now, you see the first slide?
Yes.
Okay.
Can you go to the second if you...
Okay. The second?
Marco, sorry, are you sharing the entire screen or just the PowerPoint?
Now the entire screen. Now the entire.
I don't know why we
No,
cannot
try to scroll to the second slide, Marco.
And in this way, the second slide.
Working this way because we cannot see otherwise. Okay, this is the first slide.
The second, the first about
Okay.
introduction.
Work this way because we can see in this case.
This is the first, and not full screen.
Perfect.
Okay, I'm trying this way, not with the full screen.
Okay.
No, okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Go ahead, please.
The first slide I said about the general framework, and we have a lot of possibilities from European Union about the develop of cohesion policy. And in this programmatic scenario, the Italian government has also approved an important plan called the National Recovery and Resilience Plan, and inside the Next Generation EU. And this program promoted by the European Commission or European Union to encourage the relaunch of the member state after the pandemic period, and they introduce an important set of reforms and propose an important investment to be carried out in this programming period 2021-2026 to pursue the objective of a greener, digital, and resilient Europe. And in this context, they have proposed, and we have the possibility to develop the three strategic axes identified in digital transition and innovation, ecological transition, and also social inclusion for all people inside Italy, but not only in also in Europe territory. And we have different important European structural investment funds. The main are these. The main ones are these: European Regional Development Fund, for example, or European Social Fund Plus, and others, to improve this policy, to have the possibility to have a growth, a sensible growth inside European territory. In this scenario, this objective must be achieved by implementing different types of actions by regional programs and also inside the national programs. And these are approved by European Commission to co-finance development policies on a regional and a national level, in line with what was established by the common provision contained in regulation called 2021 and 1060, and to support the five strategic objectives defined in this scenario by the European Commission. And here we have the fifth policy objective divided in the different plan. And this important concentration of resources in community and national level made available by the plan and promoted by Italian government, the National Resilience and Recovery Plan, and also inside the programming period 2021-2027, it's an opportunity to create real development for the Sardinia region and allow us to remove these economies from the weak and the discontinuous territorial continuity for passengers, also for goods. And it's important to develop the ability, the capacity to sustain extraordinary investment. In this context, we think that it's important to have another possibility to evaluate different intervention, different action to modernize and improve the internal infrastructure network, railway and road, necessary to guarantee the territorial cohesion, also to reduce and curb the phenomenon of the population and the problem of internal areas, to increase also accessibility of airports, for example, is important for our island, and accessibility of ports. This is essential to ensure wider and more connection, a strong connection with the outside world. In this condition, we want also to give a concrete implementation of the principle of insularity that was introduced in the Constitution in Italy. And with this money, these resources, a lot of resources from European Commission, we think that it's important to guarantee this new approach and this development of Sardinia region. In this framework, multi-level governance supported by the different institutional agreement would make it possible to overcome the use of cost and benefit analysis, because we want to introduce a method to compare different approach, a methodological approach to give an help to the cost benefit analysis, to analyze and to give the opportunity to compare this method with other indicators that are not easily monetizable. In fact, the aim of the paper is, or the first analysis that we propose, is introduce a methodological approach to overcome the use of CBA, comparing with the SWOT analysis, the main evaluation method that are complementary of CBA analysis, and evaluated the benefits that are not easily monetizable, deriving from the improvement of accessibility of transport in this general context. And in this scenario where we have this kind of resources to guarantee the growth of an island like Sardinia. In fact, our study area is the island, our island, and we have this population and this distribution around the different province, and is the population appears distributed unevenly across Sardinia, and we have this kind of data about our population. The methodology that we introduced develop in a comparison of the main complementary assessment method by the construction of a SWOT analysis that we have integrated through two qualitative and quantitative dimension. We introduce the link with the relevant SDGs indicator with the complementary method, and we introduce for this level integration of benefit of the project not easily monetizable, these key goals, this four indicator: economic growth, equity, inclusion, and risk management. Okay. This is our first result in the part of the slide. We have the different level and the class that we introduce, and in this case we compare different key goals that we have introduced, and created the SWOT analysis and compare different method to help the use of the cost benefit, only the cost benefit analysis. After this, we introduce after the SWOT analysis the qualitative and quantitative comparison that not included the cost efficiency analysis, because this modular with CB analysis, and we created different 4 level. The first is positive level, and there are not method assigned. The second level is average positive with this method, this different kind of analysis: environmental impact analysis and socioeconomic analysis. After we have the third level, average critical, and here we insert real option analysis, equity analysis, and geospatial analysis. And the last level, the fourth, is critical, with the multi-criteria analysis, life cycle assessment, risk and uncertainty analysis, and the last is sustainability assessment. Our aim was compare this and start with the construction of a methodological approach to help the CBC analysis. And in this scenario, with a lot of and important programs and resources from European Commission to invest in infrastructure, transport infrastructure, to reduce our problem linked with the insularity condition, give us the opportunity to introduce other approach that can help the limit of not easily monetizable indicator or activity with CB analysis, and the evaluation of this benefit, such as economic development, equity, inclusion, and risk management, the four indicators that we want to introduce at the first to this approach, demonstrate that it's important to create a condition to have other benefit or other indicator that create the possibility to improve the result of CB analysis. And it's an important aim to achieve about decision to invest in infrastructure, in transport infrastructure or services, also in a territory like the island of Sardinia. And it's difficult to predict the future cost, the benefits of a project, especially in the long term. And we can, or we have to estimate this with a lot of variables, and it's not possible to decide this and to support the decision maker also with, we think also with CB analysis. It's important to create other conditions to understand where and how invest these kind of resources. And decision regarding infrastructure project can also be influenced by political aspects, of course, leading to choices that are not optimal from only an economic point of view or an economic analysis. And with this first comparison, we want to continue to improve the methodological approach to understand how we can introduce other indicators or a different level approaches to help the use of CB analysis in the future to understand and to decide where and how invest in infrastructure, transport, and services. Thank you for your attention, and these are the people that want to continue to study this condition and this.
Thank you, Marco, for your presentation. I don't know if there are some questions from the floor. No questions from the floor. Just curiosity, Marco, you mentioned that you have to consider in your analysis of the equity and the inclusivity, no? But you are talking also about the cost-benefit analysis. So I don't know if also equity and inclusiveness can be included or can be evaluated with a cost.
The discussion is about this problem, how we can use different indicator or different approach to overcome the difficulty to monetize all variables that we want to use to understand what is better or how to choose the best infrastructure investment. And there is a people that think about CB analysis the best to evaluate in transport engineering field, the best choice. But it's not useful to use only this approach, and we have to introduce other indicators like this, and we have to decide how to link this indicator with the cost that we can compare with the CB analysis, because we have to give a point of view about economic and financial development of a project, to understand that the choice is the best that we have. But is not. We think that is not a complete method, only CP analysis, and we want to use other indicators and understand how link this with the social, for example, economic indicator, with the rules of CB analysis, that for transport engineering field is now the best, the first, and the only method that we have to compare different options, different projects that we want to develop. And the difficulty is this, to understand how to link other indicators like this, because sometimes it's not possible to monetizable all of this, and sometimes it's not a quantitative analysis that we can develop with these indicators, but also qualitative analysis. But for engineers, is not a good approach to have only qualitative indicators, because we enter in the political field, in the political choice. We have to use a method, quantitative method, to give and help to the decision makers. The different is this, and the difficulty, I think, that is understand how to create the condition to help the CB analysis to have another point of view about all of these social or inclusive indicators.
Okay. Thank you, Marco. We can go now to the last presentation. Maybe the presenter is Professor Tania Congiu. Please, Tania.
Can you hear me?
Poco, molto basso, very low.
But there is not another presentation. I don't have a presentation because Mara and Sarah present the work. So I think that we have finished.
Yes, I present 2 papers.
Ok.
Sì.
No. Ha presentato bene.
Ah, ok.
Ha presentato 2 articoli.
Okay. So maybe the session is complete.
Yes.
Okay, thanks a lot for being here.
Sorry, can I ask for your question? Because okay, firstly, thank you for the question. I don't know if you heard me when I say that our special accessibility to services, not on accessibility for all in terms of services, for political and regional government issues. I don't know if you heard this. So, this project is to improve spatial accessibility to health services by improving inner island connectivity, and we think that a mass solution aims to create a network between public and private subjects that are actually involved in the transport supply system in Sardinia region. So we think that with mass solution we can improving inner island connectivity through the offer of sustainable and integrated modes of transport, involving all the subject that actually work in this sector.
And thanks a lot again for being here. So in Italy it's 4 in the morning now, 5 maybe. You can go back again.
Thank you.
And have a nice day. And thank you again to everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
you.